She married a human for peace, then discovered he was the power every empire HFY. Their enemies were many, and their fleets were weaker than before. Lena felt the weight of her duty pressing down on her. The council had decided that the only way to save their people now was through an alliance with humans. Humans were young in the galaxy, often ignored and thought weak by others, but they had grown quietly. And now, Lena was being sent to make peace. She had been told that the humans wanted a marriage to seal the peace. The council had not given her much choice. She would marry a human man named Alex Carter. Lena did not know much about him. She had seen only his image in the council files. He looked ordinary, calm, and younger than she had expected. She wondered how much power this human really had. Many in her empire thought humans were harmless. She was unsure. Still, she had to go. As her ship entered human space, Lena could see the planets glowing below. The stations were smaller than Velari worlds, but clean and organized. She could hear the soft hum of engines and the chatter of workers and pilots in the distance. Her ship landed gently on a docking platform. The human officers waited, standing straight and quiet. Their eyes were not full of fear or arrogance. They looked at her with respect, but there was something else, confidence. Lena could not place it at first. Alex came forward to greet her. He was taller than she expected, with dark hair and sharp, calm eyes. He spoke softly but clearly. "Princess Lena," he said. "Welcome," she bowed slightly. "I am here for the peace," she said. "I will do what is required." Alex nodded. "Then let us begin," he said. His voice did not show pride, but it carried a quiet strength. Lena felt a strange calm, though she did not understand why. Others might have been nervous, but she felt only curiosity. The first meeting with the human council was strange. Humans spoke differently than Velari. They were patient, listening carefully and asking questions that made sense. Lena expected arrogance, but there was none. The council treated her as an equal, not a guest. She noticed how carefully they avoided anger or insult, but their eyes watched closely. She began to wonder if humans were more intelligent than her people had thought. When Alex spoke, everyone listened. Not because he demanded it, but because he made sense. Every word had weight. Lena felt a mix of respect and unease. Was this man as ordinary as he seemed? They spent the next days preparing for the marriage ceremony. Lena had expected pomp and display, but humans were practical. There were no unnecessary luxuries. She was given a simple room to stay in. She was allowed to walk freely among humans and see how they lived. She noticed how they treated their workers and soldiers. Everyone had a job, and everyone respected each other. It was different from the Velari, where rank and birth meant more than skill. Lena found the human ways strange, yet effective. She began to see that humans had survived not by strength, but by unity. During one walk, Lena saw Alex training in the station's yard. He moved with precision and focus. She had assumed he would be a politician, someone who spoke well but could not fight. But Alex's movements were strong and controlled. He practiced with wooden sticks, simulating combat, yet every strike showed skill and knowledge. Lena's curiosity grew. She had never seen a man so calm while still so capable. When she approached, Alex stopped and nodded. "You are watching," he said. "You should not judge by appearances." Lena smiled slightly. "I am beginning to see that humans are not what everyone thinks," she said. Alex looked at her and said nothing. His silence seemed to say more than words. The day of the marriage came. Lena wore a simple gown and Alex stood waiting. No bells rang, no grand displays. Humans valued the ceremony but did not exaggerate it. Lena felt nervous, not because of the ceremony, but because of the unknown. She did not know this man. She did not know if peace would last. The aliens of the Velari Council had warned her that marrying a human could be dangerous. Humans were unpredictable, yet standing there, Lena felt a sense of calm. Alex looked at her with steady eyes. He did not smile, but he did not intimidate her. He simply waited. The ceremony was quick. A few words, a few motions, and the marriage was official. Lena felt a strange relief. It was not love, not yet, but a start. She wondered how this union would affect her people. Would humans honor it? Would it truly bring peace? She saw in Alex's eyes that he understood more than anyone else. He knew the importance of what they were doing. Lena felt respect for him grow. It was not fear, not love, but understanding. He was not weak. He was patient. And patience, she realized, could be dangerous in its own way. After the ceremony, Lena moved into the human quarters. She had been warned to stay polite and cautious, but she felt safe. Humans smiled differently than Velari. They did not bow at rank, but they respected skill and knowledge. She saw soldiers training, engineers repairing ships, and children learning in classrooms. Everything was quiet, organized, and purposeful. She could see why humans survived. They were not flashy, they were not proud, but they were strong in ways others could not measure. She began to feel a connection with their ways, though she did not trust them fully yet. She had seen too many empires fall. Alex continued his work. He visited the fleets, trained the soldiers, and spoke with engineers. He never raised his voice, never demanded more than necessary, yet everyone listened. Lena asked him once, "Why are they so obedient?" Alex looked at her, calm as ever. "They are not obedient. They understand," he said. "Humans know why things matter, they do what they must." Lena thought about this. In the Valari Empire, many people followed orders out of fear or pride. Here, humans followed understanding. It was strange, it was different, it was powerful. One evening, Lena walked with Alex through the station corridors. The lights were dim and the hum of engines filled the air. She asked, "Do humans fight wars often?" Alex shook his head. "We have fought, but only when necessary. We survive because we learn, not because we destroy." Lena considered this. The Valari fought for pride, for land, for glory. Humans fought for survival and knowledge. It was a different kind of strength. Lena began to feel a small fear. She did not know the limits of human power, but she felt that she would learn soon enough. Alex was not just a man. He was the key to something greater. The next day, reports arrived that a nearby Valari outpost had been attacked by a hostile empire. Lena's heart sank. The humans could have ignored it, but Alex immediately began preparations. He did not panic, he did not shout. He simply organized defenses, sent messages, and trained soldiers. Lena watched him move with calm authority. He spoke quietly, but his words carried weight. The outpost was reinforced, and the enemy retreated. Lena felt a mix of relief and amazement. She had expected weakness, but humans had strength she could not have imagined. Alex had changed everything she thought she knew about this galaxy. In the following weeks, Lena learned more about human culture. She saw their simplicity, their unity, their patience. She realized that humans survived not because of weapons alone, but because of knowledge, timing, and understanding. Alex was at the center of this. He did not command with fear, he commanded with respect and intelligence. Lena began to understand that the marriage was not just political, it was a bond of trust, and with trust came power. One night, Lena stood alone on the observation deck, staring at the stars. She thought about her people, her empire, and the humans she had just joined. She had been sent to secure peace, but she began to understand that humans were more than a tool for peace. They were a force, quiet, patient, and deadly if necessary. She did not yet know the full extent of their power, but she felt it in Alex. He was calm, ordinary in appearance, yet extraordinary in presence. Lena felt a mixture of fear and hope. Peace with humans was not weakness, it was wisdom. As she returned to her quarters, Lena felt a strange sense of excitement. The galaxy was dangerous, but perhaps she was ready. She was no longer just a princess following orders. She was part of something new. Alex had shown her the first lesson: never underestimate a human. She did not yet know what the future held, but she knew that she would watch, learn, and survive. And perhaps in time she would understand the man she had married, not just as a symbol of peace, but as the power behind it. The days passed, and Lena began to adjust to her new life. She walked among humans, watched their work, and learned their ways. She discovered that even simple acts like repairing a ship or teaching a child held great meaning. Alex was always present, guiding without showing pride, teaching without speaking too much. Lena began to feel respect growing into admiration. She had married a human for peace, but she could already see that this man was unlike any other she had known. He carried something in him that the galaxy did not yet understand. He was quiet, ordinary, but full of power. And so, Lena's journey began. She had entered human space as a princess of a dying empire. She had married a man she barely knew. Yet, as she watched Alex move through the station, speaking quietly, teaching, and observing, she realized that the galaxy was about to change. Humans were patient, humans were careful, and humans were strong in ways that no one could measure. Lena was only beginning to understand that her marriage was not the start of peace. It was the beginning of something far greater. Lena woke early, as she had grown used to the human schedule. The station was already alive with activity. Engineers moved quickly between the ships, repairing engines and checking weapons. Soldiers trained on the fields outside, moving with precise steps and careful attention. Lena watched from the observation deck, noting how humans worked together. It was different from her people. Valeri soldiers followed orders, but they did not think. Humans thought, adapted, and corrected mistakes on their own. Lena felt a quiet awe. She had expected weakness in humans. Instead, she saw discipline and intelligence combined. Alex met her as she stepped onto the deck. He did not smile, but his calm presence was enough to ease her nervousness. "Good morning," he said. "Come, I will show you something." Lena followed him through the corridors, past the workshops and training grounds, to a large hangar where small human ships were parked. The ships looked older and smaller than Valeri vessels, but they were clean and functional. Alex pointed to one of them. "This is our scout fleet," he said. "They are old, but they are fast and precise. Humans prefer efficiency over size." Lena nodded, studying the ships. She noticed markings of past battles. These were not just transport vessels. They had seen war. "How many enemies have you fought?" Lena asked, curiosity rising. Alex did not answer immediately. He walked to a console, pressing a few buttons, and brought up maps of past conflicts. "Humans have survived many attacks," he said quietly. "Some worlds tried to destroy us completely. We survived because we planned, learned, and acted carefully. Our strength is patience." Lena felt a shiver. She had assumed humans were inexperienced and soft. Now she saw proof that humans could outsmart stronger, older empires. The thought unsettled her. She realized that marrying Alex had brought her into the center of something powerful. Over the next few days, Lena began to see Alex in his daily life. He visited the workers, the engineers, the soldiers. He spoke simply, without orders, and people followed. He corrected mistakes calmly, explained strategies clearly, and listened more than he spoke. Lena noticed that soldiers respected him without fear. They obeyed because he was fair, not because he demanded it. She remembered her own empire where soldiers obeyed from fear or pride. Humans were different. Lena wondered if this difference was the true reason for human survival. One afternoon, she asked Alex to train with her. He agreed, and they went to the practice yard. Lena had some skill with weapons, but she was not trained as deeply as a soldier. Alex moved slowly at first, showing her how to block and strike. Lena followed his movements, impressed by his patience. He corrected her gently, guiding her hands and feet. After hours of practice, Lena realized she had learned more than in years of Valeri training. She also noticed something else. Alex's strength was not only in skill, it was in control. Every strike, every move was precise. He did not waste energy. He did not act impulsively. Lena felt a growing admiration and fear. She had married a man who could destroy armies with patience alone. That night, Lena could not sleep. She wandered the station corridors, thinking about the human people and Alex. She had expected a weak marriage, a fragile alliance, and a quiet life. Instead, she was in a place filled with careful strength and quiet intelligence. Humans were underestimated by many galactic species, and she understood why. They did not boast. They did not display power openly. They survived by being smarter and more patient. Lena felt both excitement and unease. She did not yet know the full extent of what she had married into, but she knew that peace with humans was far stronger than anyone had realized. In the following days, Lena was introduced to the Human Council in more detail. She watched meetings where human leaders discussed trade, defense, and exploration. They spoke calmly, measured every word, and argued with logic rather than emotion. Lena noticed how Alex influenced these meetings. He rarely raised his voice, but when he spoke, the council listened. Decisions were made quickly, without confusion or arrogance. Lena realized that humans valued skill and knowledge above all. They respected strength, but strength alone was meaningless without control. She compared this to her own council, where pride often guided decisions over wisdom. Humans were different. During a visit to the training grounds, Lena observed a group of young soldiers practicing combat drills. She was surprised to see how quickly they adapted to changing conditions. Alex noticed her attention and explained, "Humans train their minds as much as their bodies. A soldier must think quickly, decide, and act. Strength is useless without judgment." Lena nodded. She began to understand that human power was hidden in plain sight. It was not loud or aggressive. It was intelligence and discipline refined over generations. She felt a mixture of admiration and anxiety. Marrying Alex had given her people a chance, but it also exposed her to an entirely new kind of strength she did not yet fully understand. One evening, Alex invited Lena to the shipyard. She watched as he inspected a fleet of ships waiting for repairs. He spoke to engineers and pilots, checking details with quiet precision. Lena noticed that even the smallest detail mattered to him. A misaligned panel, a weak connection, a damaged engine, he caught everything. She realized humans survived by noticing what others missed. Their patience was not passive. It was active, thoughtful, and relentless. Lena began to see that Alex was more than a leader. He was the embodiment of human strategy. She wondered if she had ever truly understood the human race before this marriage. Then came the first test. A small skirmish broke out near a mining station on the edge of human space. A group of alien raiders attacked without warning. Lena expected panic, but Alex acted calmly. He coordinated defenses with precision, assigning ships and soldiers efficiently. He did not shout or demand. He explained. Lena watched as humans moved like one unit, understanding their tasks perfectly. The raiders were strong and numerous, but human strategy and coordination overcame them. Within hours, the threat was neutralized and the raiders fled. Lena's heart raced. Humans had faced far worse than her empire could imagine, and they survived with cleverness, not sheer power. Alex's calm had turned into a deadly advantage. After the battle, Lena approached Alex. "Why are humans so strong?" she asked. He looked at her quietly. "Strength is easy," he said. "Survival is hard. Humans learn to survive, not to boast. We plan, we adapt, we wait. Patience makes us strong." Lena understood. She had married for peace, but peace with humans was not weakness. It was preparation, intelligence, and careful control. She began to feel a mixture of awe and worry. If humans could defeat small raiders like this so easily, what could they do to an entire empire? She did not know yet, but she was beginning to understand that the answer was terrifying and powerful. Over the next weeks, Lena continued to observe human life. She joined Alex in strategic meetings, trained in combat, and walked among the people. She noticed how humans learned from history. They studied past wars, past mistakes, past victories. Alex guided them, showing lessons without arrogance. Lena realized that this was the true human strength. They survived where others failed because they adapted, learned, and acted. Alex's calm and intelligence shaped every human around him. Lena's respect grew. She no longer saw him as an ordinary human. He was something more, something every empire would fear if they knew the truth. One afternoon, Lena walked with Alex to a quiet garden inside the station. It was small, filled with plants from many worlds. Lena asked, "How do humans remain calm in the face of danger?" Alex paused, watching the plants sway in the artificial breeze. "We do not rush," he said. "We observe, we learn, and then we act. Rushing leads to mistakes. Mistakes cost lives. Patience keeps us alive." Lena thought about her empire, which often acted on pride and fear. She realized that humans' quiet ways were not weakness. They were survival. She felt a deep respect for Alex and the people she was beginning to know. She had married for peace, but she had married into a power she did not yet fully see. That night, Lena stood on the observation deck, staring at the stars. She thought about the skirmish, about the human fleet, about Alex. She realized that the marriage was not just an alliance. It was a bond with a power the galaxy had underestimated. Humans were patient, careful, intelligent, and deadly when necessary. Alex was the center of this strength, calm but capable of shaping events in ways she had not imagined. Lena felt both pride and fear. She had married for peace, but she was witnessing the beginning of something far greater. Humans were not weak. They were powerful in ways the galaxy had forgotten. And so, Lena's understanding of humans deepened. She saw their discipline, their intelligence, and their patience. She saw Alex's quiet strength, which inspired and guided his people. She realized that humans were not just a new species in the galaxy. They were a force to be reckoned with, one that could survive, adapt, and overcome challenges that would destroy other empires. Lena felt both awe and hope. She had entered human space as a princess of a fading empire, but she was beginning to see a new future, a future shaped by careful minds, patient hearts, and the quiet power of Alex Carter. Lena woke to an urgent alarm echoing through the station. The soft hum of engines was now accompanied by warning lights flashing red. Her heart raced as she hurried to meet Alex. He was already in the command center, calm as ever, studying a large holographic map of nearby space. Lena looked at the map and saw it filled with hostile ships moving quickly toward human territory. "What is happening?" she asked. Alex did not look at her directly. "A neighboring empire has broken the treaty," he said. "They think humans are weak." "They are wrong." Lena felt a shiver. She had expected minor attacks or skirmishes. She had not expected a full fleet to move against them. The danger was real and immediate. Alex turned to his officers and began issuing commands. Lena noticed that he spoke quietly, yet every officer moved instantly to action. Ships were assigned to defense positions, scouts were sent out, and communication lines were opened to nearby stations. Lena watched in awe. The humans moved like a single organism, each part knowing what to do without hesitation. She had seen training before, but this was different. This was real danger, and the humans were ready. She realized that Alex's calm was not emptiness. It was confidence built from knowledge, experience, and strategy. He was not panicking because he had prepared for this, and Lena felt both relief and fear. As the enemy fleet approached, Alex studied their movements carefully. He did not rush into battle. Instead, he waited for the right moment, observing the enemy's patterns, weaknesses, and formation. Lena felt a growing respect. She realized that this was why humans survived for so long in the galaxy. They did not act impulsively. They planned, learned, and executed with precision. She had married a man who did not just react to events. He controlled them. And controlling the events meant he could turn danger into advantage. Lena's admiration deepened, mixed with a quiet fear she could not ignore. The first shots were fired when the enemy entered human space. Lena expected chaos, screaming, and panic. Instead, she saw humans moving with perfect coordination. Ships dodged, intercepted, and countered. Each move was precise, calculated, and deadly. Alien ships were strong, but human strategy was stronger. Lena felt her stomach tighten as she watched entire waves of enemy ships destroyed without a single human life lost. She realized that humans had been underestimated across the galaxy. Their patience, discipline, and intelligence were more dangerous than raw strength. Alex was at the center, quietly directing every move, calm as if it were only another training exercise. After the first wave was destroyed, Lena approached Alex. She could see the strain in his officers, but not in him. "How can humans fight like this?" she asked. Alex looked at the map again, pointing to gaps in the enemy formation. "We do not fight to show power," he said. "We fight to survive, to protect what matters. Strength without strategy is meaningless. We strike where it matters most." Lena understood. The human power she had begun to see in Part 2 was now real, visible, and terrifying. Humans could destroy fleets many times their size, not with bigger ships or stronger weapons, but with control, knowledge, and timing. The enemy realized their mistake too late. They tried to change formation to regroup, but Alex had already predicted it. Human ships intercepted the changes before they could take effect. Lena felt a thrill and fear at the same time. The humans were unstoppable, not because they were larger or stronger, but because they were smarter. She looked at Alex and saw not only a leader but a weapon. His mind, patience, and knowledge shaped every human action around him. She had married for peace, but she had married a man capable of turning war into a precise machine. Lena felt awe and disbelief at the scale of what she saw. As the battle continued, Lena saw the humans execute maneuvers she had never imagined. They used enemy momentum against them, feigned retreats, and trapped fleets into ambushes. Alien commanders shouted orders, but their fleets were already trapped by human strategy. Lena's heart pounded. She had expected humans to be cautious, defensive, maybe clever, but this was beyond her imagination. Humans could not just survive, they could annihilate enemies far stronger and larger than themselves. And Alex guided it all, calm, quiet, and deadly. Hours passed, and the enemy fleet was reduced to fragments. Lena noticed the officers looking at Alex with respect, almost awe. He never boasted, never celebrated. He simply observed, corrected, and prepared for the next move. Lena walked beside him on the observation deck, seeing the aftermath of the battle through the viewport. Human ships moved among debris, rescuing survivors, repairing minor damage, and ensuring every life was accounted for. Lena felt a mixture of relief and shock. Humans could destroy entire fleets, yet they also cared for life. Their power was tempered by wisdom. She realized that this was a kind of strength no empire could easily oppose. After the battle, alien envoys sent messages of surrender. They feared human retaliation and destruction. Lena saw the change in the galaxy beginning to happen. Whispers spread that humans were not weak, that their calm and patience hid deadly strength. She felt proud and afraid at the same time. She had married a man who had shown her people that humans were more than allies. They were a power that every empire, including hers, would have to respect. Lena understood that her life had changed forever. Peace with humans was not just survival. It was the protection of a force no one could ignore. Alex took Lena aside after the battle. She could see exhaustion on the officers' faces, but not on him. "The galaxy fears what it does not understand," he said quietly. "Humans survive because we adapt, we wait, and we act with care. We do not need to be loud or cruel to be strong." Lena nodded. She realized that humans had been underestimated for centuries, and the results were clear. She had seen fleets destroyed without panic, enemies trapped without chaos, and humans acting as one mind, guided by Alex. Her respect and fear for him grew. She had married for peace, but she had married into a power that could change the galaxy. In the following days, Lena learned more about human tactics. She joined Alex as he trained new recruits. She saw how humans learned from history, how they studied past conflicts and predicted enemy behavior. Lena realized that humans survived because they never acted blindly. They were patient, intelligent, and disciplined. She saw officers consulting Alex for advice, soldiers following his guidance without question, and engineers preparing fleets with perfect precision. Humans were stronger than any empire she knew, not in size, but in strategy. And Alex was at the center of it all. One afternoon, Lena visited the damaged battle stations. She saw human engineers repairing ships quickly and efficiently. Soldiers moved calmly, working together without confusion. She asked Alex, "How do humans recover so fast?" He explained, "We prepare, we learn, and we adapt. War is not just fighting. It is planning, repairing, and improving. Every mistake is a lesson. Every victory teaches more than it celebrates." Lena nodded. She saw that human survival was not luck. It was intelligence applied with care. She began to feel that humans could survive anything, and Alex guided them through every challenge, quietly, patiently, and perfectly. As she walked through the station, Lena noticed how humans treated one another. Even after a battle, no one shouted or blamed. They fixed mistakes, helped each other, and stayed focused. She realized that human strength was not only in ships or weapons, it was in people. Alex nurtured that strength, guiding humans to act as one coordinated mind. Lena felt that the human way of life, disciplined, patient, and intelligent, was far stronger than any single weapon or empire. She understood that marrying Alex had brought her into the center of this power. She was no longer just a princess seeking peace. She was part of something larger and unstoppable. One evening, Lena and Alex walked together on the observation deck. The stars shone brightly, calm above the chaos of the galaxy. Lena asked, "Do humans fear anything?" Alex looked at her, calm as always. "We fear only what we cannot understand or prepare for," he said, "but we do not act without thought. We survive because we think, plan, and act carefully." Lena thought about the battles she had witnessed, the calm control of humans and Alex guiding every action. She felt awe and fear. Humans were patient, careful, and deadly when necessary. Alex was their mind and heart, and she understood that the galaxy would never underestimate them again. In the following weeks, Lena began to see the larger picture. Humans were not just surviving in the galaxy. They were shaping it, quietly, intelligently, and powerfully. Alex was the center of this shaping. He could turn danger into safety, chaos into order, and weakness into strength. Lena felt a mixture of pride, fear, and hope. She had married for peace, but she had married a man who could protect, destroy, and command in ways no empire could match. The galaxy had underestimated humans, and now Lena understood why. She had entered a world of quiet power, and she could see that the future would never be the same after the first major battle. Lena could feel the shift in the galaxy. Whispers spread among empires that humans were not weak, that their calm and patience hid a deadly strength. The Valari Council, her own people, were still cautious. They did not fully understand what had happened. Lena had seen it, though. She had watched Alex turn a fleet of ordinary human ships into a force capable of defeating far stronger enemies. She had married for peace, but she now knew that peace with humans meant aligning with a power no empire could ignore. Humans did not celebrate their victories loudly. Instead, they repaired ships, trained soldiers, and studied the enemy. Lena followed Alex as he walked through the station, observing every detail. He spoke quietly with engineers, asking about repairs, checking the readiness of weapons, and ensuring that nothing was overlooked. She realized that this attention to detail was the core of human strength. Every soldier, every ship, every action was connected to a larger plan. Alex was not just a leader. He was the mind that guided this entire system, quiet, patient, and unstoppable. The galaxy reacted slowly but surely. Envoys from neighboring empires approached human space, seeking peace and treaties. Lena watched the messages arrive. Many offered surrender, alliances, or trade agreements. They feared humans, but they also respected the discipline and intelligence they had seen. Lena noticed that Alex did not act arrogantly. He did not boast or threaten. Instead, he listened, considered, and responded calmly. Humans were not conquerors. They were guardians of what they had chosen to protect. Lena understood that this was more powerful than conquest. No one could defeat a force that acted with intelligence, patience, and control. One day, a Velari officer approached Lena. He had fought in the first battle and seen the human fleet in action. He looked nervous, unsure, but curious. "Princess," he said, "how do humans do this? We trained for centuries, yet they move like one mind. They are not loud, not strong, but they destroy without waste." "What is their secret?" Lena smiled slightly. "It is not weapons," she said. "It is patience, intelligence, and guidance. Alex does not just command, he coordinates, plans, and prepares. Humans follow because they understand. Strength alone cannot achieve this." The officer nodded slowly, beginning to realize that the humans were a power beyond measure. Alex continued his work without pause. He studied past battles, simulated enemy strategies, and trained new recruits. Lena walked beside him as he guided young officers. She noticed how he never demanded more than necessary, never shouted or criticized unnecessarily. He taught by example, showed by action, and corrected with care. Humans responded instinctively. Lena felt admiration growing, but also a quiet fear. Humans were not weak, and Alex's influence amplified their power. She had married for peace, but she had entered a world where ordinary actions were part of extraordinary strength. Rumors began to spread beyond human space. Empires that had ignored humans for centuries began to fear them. Lena saw the change in the Velari Council. Leaders who had doubted her decision now sought her advice. She realized that human power was not measured by their fleets or weapons. It was measured by their intelligence, patience, and ability to act as one. Alex's calm presence amplified all of this. Lena understood that humans were shaping the galaxy quietly, without the arrogance or pride that often destroyed other civilizations. One morning, Lena watched a training exercise. Young pilots navigated dangerous courses, soldiers practiced complex maneuvers, and engineers managed repairs under pressure. Alex observed silently, making small corrections, adjusting plans, and ensuring efficiency. Lena noticed that humans never panicked. They moved with purpose, understanding their role in a larger system. She realized that the true human power was in coordination. Alex was the mind and humans were the body. Together, they were unstoppable. Lena felt a mix of pride and fear. The galaxy would never underestimate humans again. A message arrived from a distant empire, offering an alliance and requesting aid against another hostile force. Lena watched Alex read the message. He did not respond immediately. Instead, he studied the maps, considered supply lines, and calculated potential risks. After a long pause, he nodded and gave instructions. The humans moved efficiently, preparing to assist without hesitation or waste. Lena realized that humans did not act blindly. Every move was planned, every decision measured, and every action had purpose. She had entered a world of quiet power, guided by Alex, and it was more formidable than anything she had imagined. As days passed, Lena walked through the station, observing humans at work. She saw engineers repairing damaged ships with calm precision. Soldiers trained relentlessly, learning from past battles. Pilots studied enemy strategies and anticipated attacks. Every action was part of a larger plan, guided by Alex's quiet intelligence. Lena realized that humans were not just a young species in the galaxy. They were a force capable of shaping events, influencing outcomes, and surviving challenges that would destroy other empires. She felt awe and respect, mixed with the knowledge that the galaxy would never be the same. One evening, Lena and Alex stood together on the observation deck. The stars glimmered quietly, as if unaware of the events unfolding below. Lena asked, "Do humans ever fear?" Alex looked at her calmly. "We fear what we do not understand or cannot prepare for," he said, "but we do not act without thought. We survive because we plan, adapt, and act carefully." Lena thought about the recent battles, the calm control of humans, and the power she had witnessed. She realized that human strength was patience, intelligence, and unity. Alex was the center of it all. She had married for peace, but she had married into a power the galaxy had never seen. Over the following weeks, news of human victories and strategic skills spread. Empires that once laughed at humans now approached with caution. Lena observed alien envoys arriving, offering treaties, trade, and cooperation. They feared humans, but they also respected their intelligence. Lena understood that humans did not need to conquer. Their power was more effective because it came from strategy and patience. Alex guided every action without arrogance, ensuring that humans remained strong but not cruel. Lena felt proud of what she had witnessed. She had married a man whose calm mind shaped the survival of his people and the respect of the galaxy. One day, Lena visited the academy where young humans trained. She watched students learning tactics, studying history, and practicing combat. Alex walked beside her, observing quietly. He explained, "Humans survive because we prepare for every possibility. We study, learn, and adapt. Intelligence guides action. Strength without thought is useless." Lena nodded. She realized that humans were more powerful than any empire had imagined. She had married for peace, but she had entered a world where intelligence, patience, and strategy were the greatest weapons. Alex was at the center, calm, precise, and unstoppable. The galaxy began to change. Empires that had ignored humans now feared them. Alliances shifted, treaties were signed, and hostile powers reconsidered their plans. Lena saw the effect of Alex's leadership. Humans were not loud or aggressive. They were patient, careful, and deadly when necessary. Lena realized that human power was more than ships and soldiers. It was coordination, intelligence, and control, guided by Alex. She had married for peace, but she had married the reason peace could exist. Humans were not to be underestimated, and the galaxy would learn this sooner than anyone expected. Lena reflected on all she had seen. She had entered human space as a princess of a fading empire. She had married a man she barely knew, expecting weakness and caution. Instead, she had witnessed power, intelligence, and patience beyond her imagination. Humans survived because they acted with knowledge and control. Alex was the mind guiding them, calm and precise, shaping events and teaching humans to act as one. Lena realized that the galaxy had underestimated humans for centuries, and now she understood why. The quiet strength of humans was a force no empire could ignore, and she was part of it, standing beside Alex, learning, observing, and understanding the future. Lena woke to the soft hum of the station, but the galaxy beyond was changing. News from human space had reached distant empires. Whispers of fear and respect traveled faster than light. Humans were no longer underestimated. Even the strongest fleets in the galaxy now approached with caution. Lena walked beside Alex, watching him study reports from allied and hostile worlds. His calm eyes scanned maps and messages. He did not panic. He did not boast. He acted with the quiet certainty of someone who had already seen the outcome in his mind. Lena realized that the power of humans was not in their weapons, but in their control of every move, every plan, every outcome. Alex began coordinating fleets and defenses across several systems. Lena followed him, learning more about the humans' ways. Ships were repaired, supply lines strengthened, and intelligence networks expanded. Human officers worked tirelessly but without stress or confusion. Each knew their role, each acted with purpose. Lena noticed how humans moved as one mind. She had seen it before in smaller battles, but now the scale was larger. Entire star systems were connected by strategy, communication, and precision. Lena felt a mix of pride and awe. She had married for peace, but now she understood that humans had become the power that could shape the entire galaxy. A hostile empire, unaware of human strength, launched a coordinated attack on an outlying system. Lena and Alex monitored the movement. She expected chaos. Instead, she saw humans react immediately but calmly. Ships moved into position, anticipating enemy maneuvers. Soldiers prepared without fear. Pilots executed complicated maneuvers with precision. Lena realized that the humans were not just reacting, they were controlling the battle. The enemy thought they had the advantage, but humans had already planned for every possible move. Alex guided them without shouting, without panic, without anger. The battle was precise, controlled, and deadly. As the enemy fleet engaged, Lena saw entire squadrons trapped in carefully set ambushes. Human ships dodged attacks, retaliated at the right moment, and protected each other flawlessly. The enemy struggled, trying to adjust, but humans anticipated every move. Lena watched, her heart racing. Humans had not only survived, they had dominated. Alex's strategy was visible in every action. She realized that humans' quiet strength had turned into unstoppable force. She had married a man whose mind could shape the survival of entire star systems. Peace with humans was not weakness. It was security built on unmatched intelligence and control. After the battle, envoys from neighboring empires arrived seeking treaties. They brought gifts, messages, and apologies. Lena observed Alex as he received them. He did not boast or threaten. He simply assessed, listened, and responded logically. Humans did not need fear to gain respect. Their patience, preparation, and intelligence were enough. Lena realized that humans had created a new balance in the galaxy. They were not conquerors, but their power ensured that peace was maintained. Lena felt proud and amazed. She had married for peace, but she had married the reason peace could last. Alex called a council meeting to plan future defenses and alliances. Lena attended, watching as humans discussed strategy. Every officer spoke calmly, every idea considered, every risk measured. No one acted impulsively. Alex guided the discussion with quiet authority, making small corrections and adjustments. Lena felt the full weight of his power, not in weapons, not in fleets, but in the ability to coordinate, predict, and control events on a galactic scale. Humans were stronger than any empire had realized. Lena understood that their survival depended not on brute force, but on intelligence, patience, and unity. Alex was at the heart of it. During a review of the fleets, Lena noticed how humans repaired damaged ships efficiently. Engineers worked quickly, pilots recalibrated their controls, and soldiers checked weapons. Alex walked among them, observing carefully, offering small guidance but never taking credit. Lena realized that this was the secret of human power. Every small action mattered. Every role was connected, and Alex was the mind that linked all these actions together. She had married for peace, but now she knew she had married a man whose influence extended across the galaxy, guiding humans to survive and protect what mattered most. One day, Lena and Alex visited a planet recently liberated from hostile forces. Humans had helped without unnecessary destruction. The planet's people looked at Alex with gratitude and fear. He did not raise his voice, did not act as a conqueror. He simply coordinated aid, rebuilt infrastructure, and trained local defenses. Lena followed him, seeing how humans worked efficiently and carefully. She realized that their strength was tempered by wisdom. Humans could destroy, but they chose to protect. Alex guided them with quiet precision. Lena felt awe. She had married a man who was not only powerful but wise. Lena began to understand more about the galaxy. Humans had survived where older empires had failed. Their patience, intelligence, and coordination allowed them to protect themselves and allies. Alex's calm mind amplified all of this. He could foresee outcomes, prepare defenses, and guide humans to act as one. Lena thought about her own empire and its place in this new balance. Humans were no longer underestimated. They had become the standard by which power was measured. Lena realized that her marriage had not just secured peace, it had connected her people to a power capable of shaping the galaxy. As months passed, humans extended their influence without conquest. Treaties were signed, trade agreements made, and conflicts avoided through careful diplomacy. Lena saw that humans did not seek glory, only stability. Alex guided every decision quietly, efficiently, and without arrogance. She felt proud of what she had witnessed. Humans were strong, disciplined, and intelligent. Alex was at the center of their power, calm and precise. Lena understood that the galaxy had changed. Humans had become a force that ensured survival and peace, not through fear, but through intelligence and control. One evening, Lena and Alex stood on the observation deck. The stars stretched endlessly before them. She thought about everything she had seen. Battles won without panic, fleets coordinated flawlessly, humans surviving against impossible odds. She realized that she had married a man whose calm mind had become the key to human power. Alex looked at her, quiet as always, and said, "Peace is stronger than war, but it must be guided." Lena nodded, understanding fully. She had entered human space as a princess of a fading empire, but she now stood beside the center of a galaxy-wide force. Peace with humans was not weakness. It was the strongest choice any civilization could make. In the months that followed, Lena continued to learn from Alex. She saw humans plan months ahead, anticipate threats, and act with precision. She observed their patience, discipline, and intelligence in every action. Humans moved as one, guided by Alex's quiet mind. She realized that the power of humans was not measured in ships or weapons, but in their ability to survive, adapt, and control outcomes. She had married for peace, but she had married a man who had become the reason the galaxy respected, feared, and trusted humans. Lena felt both pride and awe. The quiet strength of humans was now clear to everyone, and Alex was at the heart of it all. As she looked over the stars, Lena thought about the future. Humans would continue to grow in influence, not through conquest, but through intelligence, discipline, and unity. Empires would have to respect them, and peace would be maintained through careful planning and strategy. She understood fully now. Her marriage had been more than political. It had been the key to a new balance in the galaxy. Alex had not only guided his people to survive, he had ensured that their power would shape the course of history. Lena felt a deep sense of awe. She had married for peace, and she had witnessed the rise of a force that would never be ignored. And so, the galaxy entered a new era. Humans stood quietly at the center, ready to act when needed, prepared for every possibility and guided by the calm and precise mind of Alex. Lena remained at his side, not just as a princess, but as a witness to the true power of patience, intelligence, and unity. She understood now that human strength was more than weapons or numbers. It was control, wisdom, and the ability to act as one. She had married a man who was more than human. He was the reason peace could endure and the reason the galaxy would never underestimate humans again. Lena smiled quietly, feeling both pride and hope. The galaxy had changed forever, and she was part of it, standing beside the calm, patient, and unstoppable force that was Alex Carter.